Hi there, I'm Jo. I am your pregnancy, postnatal, pelvic floor exercise specialist. I help ladies restore or protect and restore the function of their core during and after pregnancy, and that includes your entire body. It needs to include your entire body. In this mini course, we are covering and focusing on your core foundations and really understanding how you can set yourself up for success, because if you don't do this, then you're likely not to get the results that you are after. All right, so today we are talking about breathing and why it is so vitally important for the function and coordination of your core. Your breathing muscle, the diaphragm, is at the top of your core system. Remembering your core system is your diaphragm, your TVAs that wrap around your pelvic floor muscles and your back muscles. Then there's also the outer core system, which is your rectus abdominal muscles and your external obliques, things like that. We want to make sure they're all turned off, not overpowering, so that we have that blank canvas to really reset that whole core foundation. Okay, pop back to the other videos if you need a refresher on that. All right, so your diaphragm, this is an automatic function that we do, your breathing every day. When it functions optimally, it should be moving down with your inhale and then rise back up as you exhale. You will notice I talk a lot about exhale on the hard part throughout my programs to help coordinate this whole core system. Okay, so when you inhale, this breath should be a 360-degree breath. Pregnancy changes this whole coordination system, unfortunately, and we don't often even realize. The other thing, other life events can also, and I have been seeing this a lot lately, where it can create tension up in your shoulders. Whatever, if it's stress, if it's grief, whatever is going on for you, there's other things that can put this off as well. So years down the track, this is still very, very relevant for anybody that is having any concerns about how their body is functioning, headaches, neck tension, anything, but that's a topic for another day. So we want to make sure this breathing system is coordinated, and then we're not, I can't even breathe up. We want to make sure you're breathing out in that 360 movement. Okay, so 360 degrees around. Now we want to breathe into the front, breathe into the sides and the back. Okay, we want to make sure that we have the mobility in our sides and our back. So doing lots of lovely mobility stretches to make sure that your ribs are not stiff and stuck. So this is creating that blank canvas that I have talked about previously, to make sure that your diaphragm can breathe well. So when we know that the top and the foundation of your core function is functioning well, then we can move on to making sure the rest of your body is functioning well, or your core system is functioning well. So if this breathing muscle's not doing this correct breathing pattern that we're aiming for, and it's breathing up, or you're breathing up into your shoulders, then your pelvic floor is not responding how it should be. Okay, so as you breathe in, your pelvic floor should expand a little, your pelvic floor muscles. As you breathe out, your pelvic floor muscles should contract a little bit. Okay, and we talk about coordinating that pelvic floor and your core muscles with that deeper into my postnatal recovery programs and pelvic floor programs. So if you are having trouble with your pelvic floor muscles, maybe you are, maybe you don't even know you've got any trouble, or you're not having any at all, that's great. But then setting this foundation is going to be your first step. Okay. We want to avoid belly breathing, because we often hear, oh, do a deep belly breath, but that just brings it out into the tummy, which is usually the weakest link after a pregnancy, even years down the track if your core has never been correctly recovered, and those tummy muscles tighten back up. And especially if you have a separation down the middle of your six-pack muscles, a diastasis recti, if you are not coordinating your breathing, or your ribs are staying wide because you are splinting and your supporting muscles have not allowed your breathing to be correct, you're not going out the sides correctly, then everything is just not going to come back together how you want it. So we need the system to be well coordinated. Some visualizations that I often use to get that right mind-body connection is an umbrella breath. As well as a 360 breath, we can think about other ways to visualize what's going on in our body. So an umbrella breath. So an umbrella would open up like this. So we inhale, open your umbrella, so you get that side expansion, you get that rib back expansion, and then on your exhale, you're going to close that umbrella up. So that helps bring those ribs back down. Okay. There's this angle that's here, the bottom of the ribs here. You can do this here. This is supposed to be a 90-degree angle. Often pregnancy widens that because baby's growing up into that diaphragm and restricted that breathing, and those ribs end up staying wide. So with good breathing, we are looking to get those ribs naturally back to about a 90-degree angle. Sometimes they're a little bit wonky, depending on our postures that we do in mum life. So ideally, we're wanting to get that all nice and aligned and restacked back up. And we want to be distributing that load really evenly. Okay, we don't want to be holding this tight back here, and that not allowing that core to be realigned and refunctioned. Okay, when you are starting out with setting up or unwinding tension to really get your breathing optimally, I always find that it's easier to start lying down when you don't have that gravity and the rest of your body to hold up. Then start to progress sitting down so that you are nice and supported, and eventually work to stand up like I am today. It takes potentially a long time and a lot of consistency to unwind habits that you have developed either over a 9-month pregnancy or years, or weeks, months, years. It takes a lot. Even if you've got pain, like you're recovering from surgery in your stomach or back pain or something like that, that stops you breathing, and you might end up breathing up here. Stress, grief, all these things that create different breathing patterns. Really, really important. If you're having symptoms of your core, you're worried about your pelvic floor, you just can't flatten that tummy after birth, anything, breathing is your foundation. And I know it sounds crazy when I start to teach people how to breathe properly. It really, really, really matters. So I hope you understand what I have taught you, and I would love to hear from you here. Let me know how you feel that you breathe. Do you hold tension up in your shoulders? You might have to do a little bit of breathing practice in the mirror or something to help see where you are breathing. You see, even holding your fingers under your ribs here and just noticing where that breath's going, or have your hands up here. Do you breathe up like that, which means your diaphragm is not coming down properly? So lots of little tips and tricks. You will learn a lot more throughout my programs too, and lots of exercises that you can practice until one really resonates with you to get the results that you are after.